And we saw a few showers and heavier downpours push through Hampton roads earlier today. Still tracking a couple out there. Most of the activity is now back towards Richmond and west of Interstates 85 and 95. But we're still tracking a couple of showers across northeastern North Carolina right now. One right here along the Chowan County, Pasquotank County line. A couple more up here just north of Elizabeth City. Everything has been working its way back towards the west as well. Quemmons County, excuse me. So again, for the most part, we're looking at just partly cloudy skies for the rest of the night. Maybe a passing shower in a couple of spots. As we start the day tomorrow, I think we'll start the day dry with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the 60s to mid 70s. Chance of a shower or two in the morning, especially across North Carolina. But by about midday, as a warm front lifts through the region, I think we'll see more showers pushing their way into Hampton roads. We'll say about a 40 to maybe even a 50% chance of rain through the afternoon hours tomorrow. Notice temperatures back up into the low to mid 80s once again with that easterly wind continuing. And as we go through the evening, a lot of that activity should start to wind down, leading to partly cloudy skies tomorrow night. Then into Wednesday, with the warm air coming in, those winds out of the south, we'll see a better chance for a few showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two into the afternoon. And temperatures, I'm going about 87, 88 degrees on Wednesday. I think there'll be some spots that make a run for 90 degrees ahead of the next cold front. And this cold front will be important in our forecast in several ways. You can see that front moving in to central parts of Virginia by about 8 o'clock on Wednesday. That'll push through and then stall just to our south, leading to a cooler day on Thursday and a good chance of some rain. As far as the tropics go, very interesting what's going on out there. We have three systems that we're watching. We have subtropical depression Leslie. It was a subtropical storm. It has weakened a little bit, and Kirk was around yesterday. It is now just a remnant low pressure that is expected to move off towards the west, might try to redevelop. But Leslie will become an extratropical low and could strengthen with winds up to 70 miles per hour while remaining out in the central Atlantic. And this area of low pressure is expected to come pretty close to the southeast coastline and maybe bring some heavier rains to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Of course, we've already got the heavy rain from Florence across eastern parts of the Carolinas, but that front that I was talking about will help push that system out to sea. So it looks like as we get into Wednesday, that'll curve out into the Atlantic. Partly cloudy skies right now. We've got a temperature coming in of 75 degrees, easterly winds at around 8 miles per hour, 73 in Surrey, 76 in Hertford, 72 Memphis, 75 in Portsmouth, and 77 in Elizabeth City. So for tonight, 72, maybe a stray shower, partly cloudy skies, 84 tomorrow, partly sunny and humid. Shower possible, especially as we get into the afternoon, and they'll become a little more numerous into the mid to late afternoon and evening. And up to 88 degrees on Wednesday, isolated showers and storms, a chilly rain on Thursday with numerous showers, 76. 81 morning showers on Friday. It looks like we should start to clear out by late in the day, and the weekend looking nice, partly to mostly sunny, highs near 80.
Mushrooms everywhere.
Yes, they are.
Thanks, Evan.